I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL. I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all enjoying your spring lockdown. Speaking of spring, I've got some nice spring fragrance choices for you. Stay tuned to FM. So you might be thinking, didn't Chris already do his spring fragrances video? Well, yes, you are correct. I did do my spring fragrance video. I included 10 fragrances in that video. And you know, when I was putting that one together, it was really tough to pick. I could have included 20 fragrances in that video. And I said in that video as well that the 10 choices, were not in any particular order from 10 up to 1. They were just 10 spring fragrance choices that I enjoyed. So I thought I would follow it up with a couple of other videos. And this video is the designer spring choices that I just didn't have room or the time to fit into my bigger spring list. So this is kind of just to mop up and include some of the fragrances into a video that I really did want to tell you about and recommend to you this spring. So let's get into it. First one's a bit of a cheapie. Who doesn't love a cheapie now and then? This is a soapy, clean, green machine. It's Mugler Cologne. So you'll see this one included in a lot of summer lists, and I think it works really well in the summer. For me, when I smell this, because of the vetiver in here, it makes me think more of green and citrusy, fresh, marine summer fragrances. So whilst it's perfect for summer, I think for me, it's even more perfect for spring. So this is composed by Alberto Marias, and this is just one of those easy to throw on fragrances. You just want to smell fresh and clean. You don't particularly want to smell too sweet. It's not massively exciting, but that's not the intention. It's not supposed to be a complex, challenging fragrance. It's not supposed to be this sweet party fragrance. It's just a clean, easy to wear fragrance. You can wear it at home when you get out the shower. You can put it on if you're just going out casually, jeans, t-shirt, shorts, t-shirt, whatever you might be wearing in spring. It's very similar to Creed's original vetiver, but this is much cheaper. This is around £30. I think I paid around £30 for the 100ml bottle, 30 to £40. So if you're in the mood for a nice, fresh, clean fragrance that's got a lovely vetiver that is way cheaper than some other vetiver fragrances on the market, you are not going to go far wrong with Mullah Cologne. On to the next one, and this has got to be one of my favourite fragrances of all time. It's mass appealing, it's easy to wear, it's versatile, it's got the quality of Chanel, no less, and it is Allure Homme Sporto Extreme. So, as you might expect from a fragrance labelled as a sport fragrance, it's got a freshness, there's some mint in there, some mandarin, lovely herbal quality to it as well, there's some sage in here. The thing that makes this fragrance, the thing that balances it all out, is the tonka bean, which just gives it a bit more complexity, a bit more depth. I would describe this fragrance as fun, but classy. So if you think you're the kind of guy or girl who's fun, but also classy, then this could be a good fragrance to go for. I think this is better than the sport tag that it has on the bottle here, and I just wonder how many people may be in a department store or duty free and not check out this fragrance because it's a sport fragrance. You know, someone who wants a classy, sophisticated type of fragrance may overlook this one. So I think it's better than that. I think that this fragrance would work equally as well dressed up in a smart suit or dressed up nice on a date night as it would wearing your gym kit for a session down the gym. I just think it's super fun, it's versatile, but you know, it's got a class and sophistication. It's from Chanel, so it's got that quality. Allure Homme Sporto Extreme is one of my all-time favourite designer fragrances, and if you've not checked it out, then I would recommend you do so. Okay, next up we've got a clean, fresh, powdery scent. Again, I think this seems to be a common theme amongst spring fragrances. It has that versatility. Spring is one of those transitional seasons. We can have hot days, we can have cooler days, so we want a versatile fragrance that works and balances out, so it works in all those different types of temperatures. This is from the house of Coach, and it's Coach Platinum. Coach Platinum just has this great opening pop. In the top there's some juniper berries, and whenever there's juniper in a fragrance it always seems to get this kind of nice clean freshness to it. And there's also pineapple here, nothing like the pineapple in Aventus, but the juniper and the pineapple combined together just give it a lovely opening pop. It's quite similar to Sauvage, but I think if you're not a fan of Sauvage, then definitely look at this one, because it's not as screechy as Sauvage. It's not quite as obnoxious. Sauvage is a massively performing fragrance. It projects massively, and some people find it too much. You don't get that here. It's rounder, it's smoother. I think it's got more depth. I think it's got a little more going on than Sauvage. I find it a bit sweeter than Sauvage. I think there's some nice vanilla in here. As I said, it's very versatile, it's easy to throw on, mass appealing, it projects but not too much. And I think that you can pick this one up for around £35 for 100ml. So this one is not a fragrance that's talked about too much, but I think it's definitely worth checking out because the price is good. I think it's a very, very solid fragrance.
Join the Scent Geeks every Monday as we podcast about all things fragrance. You'll find us anywhere you can usually find a podcast. Links are in the description below this video. See you there, geeks.
Next up, we've got an entry from the house of Dior. I think Dior are a very, very good mainstream designer house. I think that a lot of their fragrances released are quite artistic, and the quality is always high. So the one I'm showing you today is the always classy Dior Homme Intense. So I will say that this is probably going to be better for those cooler spring days rather than the really hot spring days. It might feel a little too heavy. It does have a good weight to it. It's quite a cool spring day here filming this, so this would be the ideal day personally for me. So it does have this slight kind of chocolatey cocoa accord, but it's never to the point where it feels too heavy or too thick or too gourmand. So this is based around florals. It has florals at its heart. There's some lavender and the iris is what this one is created around. The iris is at the heart of this one, and it is that kind of slightly lipsticky, makeup-y type of iris, but don't let that put you off. If you haven't smelled this, do go and have a smell, because I think that floral in here gives it this real kind of modern man quality. I think all these Dior Homme fragrances that have the iris make me think of, you know, a modern masculine man who's in touch with his sensitive side and isn't afraid to show that and explore that. I just think Dior Homme Intense is a class fragrance. A little bit more suited to spring than Dior Homme Parfum, which is a little heavier with the leather in there. I think you could definitely wear that on some cooler spring days, absolutely. But that works really well in the autumn and winter. This has a versatility. You could pretty much wear it all year round. It would be a great shout for autumn as well, another of those transitional seasons. But as a spring fragrance, this is just working really well for me at the moment. Absolutely loving it. Okay, the next one is a fragrance that you'll have seen on many, many lists, usually summer lists, but I think it's got a place here on the spring list. This is one of the most hyped designer fragrances, and it's almost a cliche now to include it in a list, but I wanted to because initially I didn't get the hype of this fragrance. I didn't get it. I smelled it in stores and I just thought, it's okay, but you know, what's all the fuss about? Found a good deal on this, so I picked it up, and the more I've been wearing it, the more I've been enjoying it. I think I'm starting to get the hype. From Giorgio Armani, it's Acqua di Gio Profumo. So I've given this a good few wearings now, and the more I wear it, the more I'm beginning to understand it. We're developing a relationship, Acqua di Gio Profumo and I. We're working things out. You know, we've had our problems, but we're working through them. It was never that I didn't like this fragrance, it was just that whenever I smelled it, I expected to be more blown away, more wild than I was, because this has been on so many lists. And not only on lists, this has been at the top of lists. This is regularly a #1 on spring and summer lists. So we're working through, we're getting there. And I am really enjoying it now, actually. So this, I think, is a really great spring summer fragrance. It's got this intense masculinity to it. It's got that classic masculine feel that you get with the original Acqua di Gio, but it's got this extra depth and it's got a real mysterious quality to it as well. It could be the incense in here, and I think it's genius to combine the incense with these lighter, fresher, citrusy notes, because they just seem to pair so well together. So yes, often claimed to be a great summer fragrance, but for me, it's working well in spring. I'm starting to believe the hype. So let's see how we go and see where we're at in our relationship by the time the summer comes. All right, so there we go. I just wanted to throw out those spring recommendations to you. They were sitting on the shelf and I just could not let 2020 go by without at least mentioning that I think these fragrances work well in spring. I just randomly picked 5. I will do a niche version of this video. I'm not sure if there'll be 5 or more. I feel like I do have a lot of niche fragrances that would work really well in spring, so stay tuned for that one. That one will be coming soon. Let me know what you think of my choices. Do you agree? Do you think they work well in the spring? And let me know also what your say top 3 designer choices for spring would be. I would love to hear, because always looking to check out new fragrances. So if you can give me some recommendations, I would love that, and I'll go out there and try them, and they may appear on a list at some point. So that is going to wrap things up for this video. Thank you for joining me for this extra bonus spring fragrances video. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe and we're getting through this strange time that we're in, because we will get through it. And I hope me throwing out content like this is a nice, welcome distraction. It would make me feel great to think that was the case, that people are enjoying tuning in. So thank you very much for your continued support. The channel's doing really well. We're going to be at 30,000 subscribers pretty soon. So I can only thank you, because it's you guys that are fueling me to continue with the channel. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Remember, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good. And not did it only make lists, often is claimed to be a great summer.